What if I told you that the comfortable retirement you're dreaming of has nothing to do with Social Security, government programs, or hoping the economy doesn't crash, and everything to do with 9 simple habits you can start today? Now, you've probably seen people who are 65 years old and still working, not because they love their jobs, but because they have no choice. It isn't about bad luck or poor timing. It's because they spent decades hoping someone else would secure their retirement instead of developing the habits that actually build wealth. But there are 9 specific money habits that separate people who retire comfortably from people who work until they die. And most people will never learn these things because they're too busy worrying about things they can't control instead of focusing on what they can. And I know these work because I've studied hundreds of people who retired with millions, regardless of what the economy threw at them. I understand the anxiety of not knowing if you'll be able to retire, and I've discovered the exact habits that guarantee financial freedom. These aren't complicated investment strategies or get-rich-quick schemes. They're the boring, unsexy habits that quietly build wealth while everyone else is hoping and praying that external forces will save them. The first habit is the foundation of everything else, and it's probably not what you expect. Take complete accountability for your financial future. I know this sounds harsh, but hear me out. We live in a world where it's easy to blame external factors for our financial problems. If only Social Security was guaranteed. If only inflation wasn't so high. If only my employer offered better benefits. But here's the brutal truth. While you're waiting for the government to fix Social Security or for inflation to magically disappear, time is passing. Years are going by. And the people who retire comfortably aren't the ones who had perfect economic conditions. They're the ones who took control of what they can control. Let me tell you about my neighbor Frank. He's 67 years old and just retired with over $2 million in savings, despite working as a high school teacher his entire career. When I asked him his secret, his answer shocked me. Frank said, "I stopped waiting for someone else to secure my retirement when I was 28 years old. I realized that whether Social Security exists or not, whether the economy is good or bad, whether my pension gets cut or not, none of that matters if I'm not doing everything I can with what I have right now." That mindset shift changed everything for him. Instead of worrying about things he couldn't control, he focused obsessively on the things he could. His spending, his saving rate, his investment choices, his career development. Taking accountability doesn't mean you have to figure out everything overnight. It means accepting that your retirement is your responsibility, and that's actually incredibly empowering because it means you have control over your outcome. But taking accountability is just the beginning. The second habit is what actually builds the wealth that makes retirement possible, and most people are terrified of it for no good reason. If you're ready to stop hoping someone else will secure your retirement and start taking control of it yourself, stick with me because the next habit could literally be worth millions to your future self. Habit number 2, learn to invest. I know. Investing feels scary, complicated, like something only Wall Street experts can understand. But that fear is costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement money. Here's the truth about investing. It's not nearly as complicated as the financial industry wants you to believe. They make it sound complex because complexity sells expensive financial products and advisory fees. But successful retirement investing can be incredibly simple. You don't need to pick individual stocks or time the market or understand complex derivatives. You can build serious wealth with basic index funds that track the entire stock market. If even that feels too scary, start with something safer. Open a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5% instead of the 0.01% your regular savings account pays. Try a CD that guarantees your return. These aren't optimal for long-term wealth building, but they're better than just doing nothing. The key is to start somewhere, anywhere, and get comfortable with the process of putting your money to work for you instead of just letting it sit there and lose value to inflation. But here's what will destroy your retirement faster than never investing at all, and it's a mistake I see people make every single day. Habit number 3, avoid credit card debt like your retirement depends on it, because it does. I've seen too many people who do everything right for decades. They saved consistently, invested wisely, lived below their means, only have their retirement dreams destroyed by credit card debt in their 50s and 60s. Here's how it happens. Life throws you a curveball. Medical bills, home repairs, helping adult children financially. Instead of having an emergency fund to handle these situations, you put it on credit cards thinking you'll pay it off quickly. But then the interest kicks in. At 18 to 24% annual interest, that $10,000 emergency fund becomes $12,000 after 1 year, and if you only make minimum payments, then $14,400 the next year. Before you know it, you're paying more in credit card interest than you're earning on your investments. But avoiding debt is just playing defense. The fourth habit is about playing offense and accelerating your path to retirement in a way most people never consider. Habit number 4, increase your contributions over time. This is the secret weapon of people who retire early and comfortably. Most people set their 401k contribution to 6% when they start their first job and never touch it again. But here's what smart people do. Every time they get a raise, they increase their savings rate. Got a 3% raise, increase your 401k contribution by 1% and live off the other 2%. This way your lifestyle improves gradually, but your savings rate grows dramatically over time. The beauty of this approach is that you never feel the pinch because you're always living on more than you made the last year before, but you're always saving more than you saved the year before as well. But again, all of this progress can be wiped out by one category of purchases exercises that people consistently underestimate, and it's probably sitting in your driveway right now. Habit number 5, think carefully about major purchases. This is where I see people sabotage decades of smart financial decisions with one emotional choice. You're 55 years old, you've been saving diligently for 30 years, you have $800,000 in your retirement accounts, you're feeling good about your progress, then you decide you deserve that dream kitchen renovation for $75,000 or that luxury car you've always wanted for $60,000. Here's what you're really doing. You're not just spending $75,000, you're spending the $300,000 that money would have grown to be by the time you retire. You're trading future financial freedom for present gratification. I'm not saying never spend money on things you enjoy. I'm saying to be intentional about it. Ask yourself, is this purchase worth delaying my retirement by 2 years? Sometimes the answer might be yes, but make sure you're making the choice consciously. Every major purchase should be viewed through the lens of opportunity costs. What could this money do for your future self? And speaking of major purchases, there's one category that destroys more retirement dreams than almost anything else, and the marketing around it is designed to make you feel like you need it. Habit number 6, avoid new cars. I know this isn't what you want to hear, but new cars are retirement killers. The average new car payment in America is over $700 a month. Over a 30-year career, if you always have a car payment, you'll spend over $250,000 on car payments alone. But here's the kicker, if you invested that $700 a month instead, you'd have over $1.4 million by retirement. That's an insane difference. I'm not saying drive a broken down beater that leaves you stranded. I'm saying buy a reliable used car with cash. A 3-year-old Honda or Toyota will serve you much better than a brand new one. But it costs half as much and it doesn't come with a monthly payment that steals from your future. Some of the wealthiest people I know drive 10-year-old cars. They understand that cars are tools to get from point A to point B, not status symbols worth sacrificing their financial freedom. Now, if you're worried about Social Security not being there when you retire, the 7th habit might surprise you because it's about maximizing the benefits that probably will be there. Habit number 7, delay claiming Social Security. Here's something most people don't know. For every year you delay your Social Security claiming, past your retirement age of 70, your benefits increase by about 8%. Over a 20-year retirement, that delay could be worth over $115,000 in additional benefits. And since Social Security benefits are adjusted for inflation, that extra money compounds over time. Of course, this strategy only works if you have other savings to live on during those delay years, which is why all these habits work together. But what if I told you that the most successful retirees often don't actually stop working completely? And this might be the key to both financial security and happiness in retirement. Habit number 8, have a fun part-time job in retirement. This might sound counterintuitive. Aren't we trying to retire so we don't have to work? But here's what I've learned from talking to hundreds of retirees. The happiest ones aren't the ones who never work again, they're the ones who get to choose the work they love without the pressure of needing it to survive. Maybe it's teaching part-time at a community college, working at a golf course, consulting in your former field, or turning a hobby into a small business. The key is that it's optional and provides both purpose and a little extra income. Even earning just $500 to $1,000 a month from something you can enjoy can dramatically reduce the pressure on your retirement savings and give you a buffer against market downturns or unexpected expenses. But none of these habits matter if you can't do the one thing that separates successful retirees from everyone else who's still working at 75. Habit number 9, stay consistent. This is the hardest habit and the most important one. Anyone can save money for a few months. Anyone can avoid debt for a year. Anyone can invest when the market is going up. But building real retirement wealth requires doing these things consistently for decades, through recessions and bull markets, through job changes and life changes, through good times and bad times. Consistency is what turns small action into life-changing results. Saving $300 a month doesn't feel like much, but do it consistently for 35 years with compound growth and you're looking at over $1 million. The people who retire comfortably aren't the ones who made perfect decisions or got lucky breaks. They're the ones who made good decisions consistently over long periods of time. Here's the truth that no one wants to tell you about retirement. It's not about having enough money to maintain your current lifestyle forever. It's about having enough money to buy your freedom. Freedom from financial stress, freedom to spend your time how you choose, freedom to be generous with others, freedom to take care of yourself and your family without worry. The beautiful thing about these habits is that they work regardless of what happens with Social Security, regardless of what the economy does, regardless of what politicians decide. They put you in control of your own destiny. But now that you know these 9 money habits that build a smart retirement, there's a foundation you need first. So check out this video where I reveal 5 minimalist budget rules to never stress about money again.